Hey y'all, I'm with Till outside the public library, and we just started chatting up, talking about 2016 election and what went on, and also our ideas about maybe 2020, what could happen. So, Till, break down to me why you supported Bernie and why you might support him again, and who else you might support in 2020.
Okay, well, first of all, it's nice to meet you, Wayne.
Nice to meet you too, Till. Nice to meet you too.
And so I guess as far as 2020 goes right now, as far as trying to reform the Democratic Party, which I have pessimistic opinions about, but nonetheless, people say if you don't think something can be done, don't stand in the way of the people doing it. So I don't want to stand in their way. And my choices would be either like maybe Bernie or Tulsi right now. I supported Bernie in 2016, even though since 2000 I've been voting Green. I gave up on the Democrats back that far.
Yeah.
But I voted for Bernie in the primary, and then when the primary was stolen from him, and he threw his support to Hillary, I had already decided I'm not going to vote for another corporate Democrat, so I voted Green again, like I would have if Bernie hadn't been there. And the idea of Bernie running this time, again, I like everything Bernie says. Most things, especially about the environment, the healthcare,
Green
education,
Deal.
Green New Deal, all of that stuff. I think that's all what has to be done. In principle, they're just finding a way to do it.
What do you think about the differences between Bernie and Elizabeth Warren?
Well, I'm not sure. I have a less positive opinion about Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
But I would be hard pressed, to give a good, valid argument.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I can only have two top candidates. I can't count the three. That's too much for me right now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to badmouth Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
And I want to get to my biggest complaint with Bernie.
Yeah.
And that's 2016.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me say real quick too, y'all. I was confused because I voted for Hillary in 2016, and the most important reason to me at the time was I was going to vote Democratic anyway, but the most important thing to me was that she was female, or she identifies as female, and I believe we should have a woman president sooner than soon. But now that I started looking back, the platform of Bernie really speaks to me, and I wish I would have paid more attention to that. And sometimes policy may trump. Sometimes policy may override identity or something like that. What were you going to say though?
Okay, I was if I can collect my thoughts, I get easily sidetracked.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Bernie, I think the 2016 election is null and void because I think the Democratic primary was stolen from Sanders, and that if he had been allowed to be the Democratic candidate, he would have beat Trump. And I'll give two examples. Other than, people either kind of believe or don't believe all the shenanigans that went on during the primary and the collusion between the press, Clinton, and the Democrats. Regardless of that, the way I look at it, when Sanders would hold a rally, there'd be tens of thousands of people there. When Clinton would hold a rally, there'd be tens of people. So I would say, given that, if you make a comparison, which is limited, of, which candidate the Democrats like better, I think it would have been Sanders. And then you take this recent town hall meeting on Fox News. They had their town hall with Sanders. He practically had the Fox News audience eating out of his hand. Well, if Clinton was there, they'd be saying lock her up. If Biden was there, they wouldn't care for him either. So if you take those 2 points and you say the Republicans prefer Sanders over Clinton, the Democrats prefer Sanders over Clinton, so why would you run Clinton? And the thing that, one of the underlying things that bothers me the very most is that Bernie himself is ignoring this. He's ignoring that it was stolen from him. He won't talk about that. And that, even though I like everything he says now, just like I like everything he said in 2016, now I feel much less inclined to believe him.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I'm torn. I like Tulsi. I like Andrew Yang I think I'm pronouncing his name right, because he talks about universal basic income. But I'm really going to pay attention to the debates and everything coming up, and try to I'm going to dig deeper into people's policies this time around.
Okay.
And Bernie's one of my tops right now too. I just wish, I kind of wish I would have done things. I don't regret, but I wish I would have dug a little deeper last time.
Okay, I was just going to say about the debate. You know that ever since the League of Women Voters stopped supporting, providing the debates. The reason they wouldn't do it is because the Republicans and Democrats insisted on defining which questions could be asked, which ones couldn't ahead of time.
Yeah.
The League of Women Voters said, no way, man. This is it's an open debate. You can't say what you can talk about and what you can't. So now this is done strictly by the Republicans and Democrats, which is why people like progressives and Greens are not invited in the first place.
Yeah.
And you'll never hear a lot of things you want talked about. They'll bring up hot button issues. Maybe they'll bring up abortion. Well, that's a hot thing, especially with the threats to Roe v. Wade. I'm not saying that's not an issue, but what they're not going to bring up is they're probably not going to talk, if at all, about Medicare for all. They're not going to talk about free public education. They're not going to talk about stopping all the wars of aggression that we're doing. Those things they're not going to probably talk about. There won't be time.
Thank you so much. We just read into each other, and I enjoyed this brother's conversation, and I just wanted to share it with everybody. So thank you so much, Still.
All right. Thank you, Wayne.